What's up everybody? In today's video, I've got a review for you. We're going over the Neewer F700 7-inch touchscreen field monitor. I've been putting it through its paces. I want to talk to you about all the features and technology and to let you know if it's worth it for a cinematographer and if you want to add it to your rig. Okay, so first things first, Neweer did send me this to review. They did not pay me for this review, and I will not be keeping this screen. This is actually gonna be one of the items I'll be giving away in my Instagram giveaway. Go ahead and check out that video there, and I'll talk about more of that at the end of the video. So this screen is 7 inches. It does display in 1080p, 1920 by 1080. It is an IPS display. It is touch capable, and it has a 1:1000 contrast ratio, but it goes up to 2000 nits. So it is HDR capable. It also has a 160-degree viewing angle. It can be powered directly or via battery, which one of the options you can get is to actually have the batteries included. And I am gonna talk about the batteries that they sent me. And it's mountable pretty much every way you can imagine. Right now I have it on a little cage on my R5, and I've got it hooked up with this mini HDMI cable. So first I wanna talk to you about the outside, and then let's talk about the features inside. So first things first, while it is a touchscreen, it does come with these buttons here on the top. There's a power button, there's 3 function buttons, there's a kind of back button, menu button, and then a plus or minus button that you use depending on which function you are playing with. On this side, you have a quarter mount thread. You also have a quarter mount thread on the bottom, and they give you this really cool kind of mounting little bracket deal that also has a pin in it, which is nice. On the bottom, it has an SD card slot that we'll also talk about in a second. This is where you can input a 5-volt connection using USB-C. This is much appreciated. So if you're gonna have this attached to maybe some sort of an external power battery bank, or if you're gonna have it attached just to the wall, which is what I have been doing here in the studio. It also has the ability to output 8.4 volts if you've got the batteries attached, and it's got a headphone jack. On the other side here, you can attach 12-volt DC. You can also do HDMI in and HDMI out, because this does support HDMI loop, meaning that if you have a 4K signal coming in, even though it will display 1080p, you can then output that 4K signal onto a larger reference monitor. On the back, we have the 2 battery ports and the fan. I don't know that I've ever heard the fan turn on. I don't know that I've ever seen this thing get hot. Honestly, I don't know, but it's appreciated that it's there. Okay, V-mount batteries, pretty standard fare. They've got a little lock button here that gets them off, okay? So these are the V-mount batteries that they sent me. These are 7.4 volt, 4400 milliamp batteries. Now, I don't normally talk a lot about batteries, but I just love that they have these USB-C inputs, so you can either charge them just via USB-C, or if you have a V-mount, charging plate like I do here, and then you can just plug them in if that's how you prefer to charge them. Now, weight-wise, it's pretty lightweight without the batteries. With the batteries, not so lightweight. But honestly, that's just obviously not as lightweight when you attach the batteries, but if you're gonna have this connected to external power or an external bank, it is really lightweight when it sits on the top of your camera or on your rig somewhere. It will operate with only 1 battery, but I do like putting in both. With both batteries attached, this thing goes for a long time. Now, when you pair this screen with, say, the R5, like I have here, I still get all of the capability that I get out of my screen on my camera. So for example, I am able to focus. I have like all my settings here, and then I get a clean HDMI output onto the screen. That then allows me to use all the features that are built into this screen. And really that's where the screen gets pretty cool, because yes, it is a 7-inch screen, so it's much larger than the screen that I have on my camera here, so I can see a lot better, which is nice for me because I don't see especially well, as you can tell from how I'm doing this every morning. So I'm gonna go ahead and mount this on my rig, and I'm gonna kind of walk you through some of these features. I've got a clean HDMI output that then the screen is placing a histogram and audio levels on. Now, the reason that's super cool is that the audio levels on Canon cameras are not great and they're not very big. And the screen is small, so there's only so much that you can plug on there, and Canon really loves to put as many UI elements on their screen as possible. But one of the ones that they don't have when you hit the record button is the histogram. So on here, I have the histogram. So as far as elements on the screen go, I've been using the histogram. I also have the waveform on here, but there are other features that you can add on screen. You can kind of stack them up as much as you want. They're also movable, so you can kind of put them wherever you want within kind of a grid system. So if I open up the menu here, so if I go to my exposure assist tools, I have false color, zebras, histogram, waveform, vector scope, and then an all wave option, which kind of turns everything on. And then you have an HDR mode. And then if you go into focus and composition, you also have single color, focus peaking, a center mark. You have a safe area marker. You also have ratio markers, grid lines, and your audio meters. And then when you go into your display setting, you can kind of say, okay, well, where do I want to put these? I get to pick basically like which area I want to put in. So like I've got the waveform and the histogram over here. So if I put it in the top left, and then I hit open, it's gonna put it there, and then I just back out of the menu. And now I've got the vector scope up there. So as you can see, a lot of those options are really great. Like I said, I don't really use the vector scope much. That's not really my jam, but you get the full capability. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back into assist, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit close on the vector scope, and then I'm gonna back out of that menu. So in addition to all of those features I mentioned, there are a bunch more, and they are attached to these function keys up at the top so you can get to them really quickly because you might not always need them. Number one is false color, and it gives you spectrum and RE false color. So if you're looking to really kind of hit your particular needs as far as like skin tones, that sort of thing, you can do that with that feature. The second one is the focus peaking, and you can set that to red, green, blue, really whatever you want. If we zoom in, which is another thing that you can do, we would be able to see potentially the focus peaking. Yeah, gray is a little easier to see there. But now I can see the focus peaking on the car, and I know that I am locked in with my focus. And then the third one is the ability to plug in a center mark. And you can also change the color on that if you're really looking to make sure that you have something right in the middle of your composition. Now, the next thing that I want to mention is the fact that this does support LUTs. So if you're like me and you shoot on your R5 in C-Log 3, there is a Canon log LUT that you can use. But you can also load in your own LUTs. And it's got a handful of them built in. So the fact that, at least for me, I can get a really big, really bright for outdoor environments screen that gives me color accurate imaging, even when I'm shooting in log. It doesn't get cluttered up by all the UI elements. It gives me focus peaking, it gives me zebras, it gives me false color, it gives me histogram, it gives me vector scope, it gives me audio meters, all of that in this little package. And it can be powered by battery, or it can be powered by external pack using USB or a 12 volt input. Now, a couple things that this doesn't do, just to be clear, it is a touchscreen, but it will not let you manipulate user elements on your camera. So if I'm tapping on here, it will not let me use menu elements on the Canon camera or do focusing through this touchscreen. The other thing that it is not a recorder. This is not a recording device. This is simply a screen. That really has helped me to create better footage first time, last time, so I don't have to shoot multiple times. And if I'm doing a roll like this, especially if I'm outside, I can see myself, I can see if I'm in focus, and I can see if my color and exposure is right, which is a huge advantage. Now, the kit that they sent me came with the 2 batteries, it came with the cable, and it came with this mounting harness. There's a couple different versions that you can get. I will link those down below if you are interested. But honestly, this thing is pretty cool. I've actually really enjoyed using it. But I'm not going to keep it. I am going to be giving it away. So don't forget about my Instagram giveaway. Again, check out this video for details. This will be included in that kit. But no, this has been really fun and a really cool device. Whether you're shooting in a studio, whether you're shooting outside, or whether you're just shooting a lot of run and gun, right? I've been putting this on the handle and just kind of carrying it around. And honestly, that has made things really nice for some of my kind of creative things that I've been doing. And honestly, I've been getting a lot of video of my kids, which is why I have this, that's why I have my shotgun mic on there, which has made things super fun. Anyway, that's my review of the Neewer F700 7-inch field touchscreen monitor. This thing is actually quite nice, especially for the price. Go ahead and click on the link down below. But that's it for me. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.